Hey guys, we are here. We're in the Regent Street alley, actually right here at Eccles Theater in Salt Lake City to see Waitress.
Yeah. So Waitress is honestly one of my favorite shows. It's a story about motherhood and friendship. And you know, warning for those here in Salt Lake and anybody on the tour, if you're pregnant, if you go to the show, you're gonna cry a lot.
You're probably gonna cry without the pregnancy.
It's true. We saw it the first time when I was pregnant and I just bawled. And it makes me cry every time. You know, the thing I love about this show, one, the music. Sara Bareilles, I've always loved her, but the music is just beautiful. You know, our son, he loves it so much he wanted to sing. He asked if he could sing Sugar Butter Flower at church. And we used to sing the songs to our daughter Reagan to bed every night. Like
Soft Place to Land was like her lullaby for the longest time. So.
Like in the car she's screaming and we just turn that on and then we get her to stop every time. The other thing I really love is like the story of it, you know, and seeing this woman like kind of overcome so many things and find herself, and she was almost afraid of motherhood and how she embraces it.
I think this show is a lot about second chances. Really love this show. This is a show that we've seen a couple of times. We're just a little bit of a junkie for it.
Yeah.
Original with Jesse Mueller, Sara Bareilles, and then of course Catherine McPhee. She loves Sara. I love Catherine McPhee. And this is a show that we followed really closely, and we just love this show.
You know, they just hit 1,000 performances on Broadway. It's touring around the country. It's about to open in London.
There's this one part where the three waitresses kind of harmonize and sing this beautiful, beautiful song together. And I can't think of another show where there is 3 females on the stage harmonizing, singing a song together. It's just this beautiful moment. This show actually has an entirely female creative team.
Yeah, they shattered the glass ceiling, you know. You know, this show actually opened the same year as Hamilton. And a lot of shows, that was 2016, right?
I don't know anymore.
So. Anyway, year of Hamilton, you know, there was a lot of great shows that year, and some actually didn't get a lot of notice, like Bright Star. We love that show, but it didn't go far. It kind of was like surpassed by the juggernaut Hamilton. You know, Waitress has been able to kind of keep its head and like really show its power, and I think it's because of that music and that story. And they've done really well with stunt casting on Broadway. Like he mentioned Kat McPhee.
Yep, she's my girlfriend.
Jason Mraz was one of the leads. They have, I think this one will be interesting. Al Roker is about to start. Like they've got a lot of interesting cast.
It'll be really interesting to see. But honestly, I think each time they've kind of brought something new to the cast. We actually had the opportunity to go on a backstage tour earlier and kind of see some of the props and kind of stand in the diner. It was amazing. I loved it.
Welcome, everyone, to the kitchen, to the diner of Waitress the Musical. We have so many props here. The pies were made by 2 different companies, so they're a little bit different, but they have weight to them, and there's tons of them. I think there's like 30 or so fake pies, and 8 slices of real pie that people eat throughout the show. These pies are really cool, I think. This lemon pie here has magnets on it, because in the show, she puts a lemon on it to finish off the pie. So there's magnets on it to make sure that it stays there. Theater magic, really fun. I also like this Oreo pie here. It has an Oreo in it, and it used to be a real Oreo, another real food we used to have, but she has to break it apart, and the cookie kept breaking. Which is fine, but it was a little annoying, so our prop guy, Andrew, he made this one, which is also magnetized, so it comes off, and from the stage it never breaks because it's not real. There's a lot of real food in the show that is not actually the food that we say it is. All the sugar in the show is actually salt. We use butter in the show, but it's orange juice. Just so those kinds of things like show up on stage. She does use has real dough that she rolls out to make a pie, so that stuff's real. The flour is also not really flour, because if you inhaled it you would choke. So there's a lot of like fun little backstage things like that, which I think are really interesting. The hardest thing about doing the show is working with the props, because we try really hard to make it seem like it's a real diner and real things are happening. So there's constant movement in the show. You might have to move a fork somewhere because in 3 scenes somebody needs that fork to be there. That's the main focus of the diner, and that's why I think it's so hard, but also makes the show look so good, is that we're constantly moving. We're constantly serving people who aren't maybe the main action of the scene, but you also have to do that in a way that doesn't distract too much from the thing that we actually want you to be looking at. So it's a sort of delicate balance of, you know, doing things to make it look real, but also making sure that the focus remains on the people. Yeah, we also have the band on stage with us the whole time, which is a really cool feature of the show. They have things that they have to do. They have to wear costumes. They have to get served coffee and eat pie. They have to do a lot of things too. So they're really part of it. So we can chat, we can talk with them, which is really nice, and say hello, and they get to actually be part of the show. We also have a couple of guitars. One gets smashed, spoiler alert. So that has like a cool breakable front and back that the actor can break.
All right, we just finished the backstage tour, headed back out to talk to the Jennas. Desi is the current person who actually plays Jenna in the show, and she is ending her run here in Salt Lake City. She's been with the show for about a year, and she is passing the pie, or the rolling pin, to Christine, and Christine is taking over. Neither of these girls are shy from huge roles. They both have an awesome, awesome background and wonderful roles. It's funny, I actually learned today that they were in the chorus of Wicked together. And so they've kind of had this, you know, intertwining of their careers and things like that. So we'll cut to that interview and show you a little bit of those interviews here.
While I'm ending the contract, Christine is beginning it. Yes. So I'm here to quite literally pass her the rolling pin. It's an honor to do so. It's an honor to be here, and it's really cool that we can do this in Salt Lake City. Playing Jenna has changed my life. I mean, what I've learned about myself through her, what I've learned about myself through maintaining this show 8 times a week, what I've learned from the people around me that have upheld me throughout this, I mean, and then what I've learned from the audiences who are taking it in every night has been remarkable. I mean, more than I could have ever expected.
So excited to start my journey here with you guys, and yeah, I can't wait. I love Salt Lake so far. It's gorgeous here. My God, we drove in. There are just beautiful mountains everywhere, and it looks like a backdrop, you know, and it's just unbelievable. So I'm so happy to be here. I can't wait to start, and I can't wait to meet you guys.
All right, well, I'm excited to get inside and see
Right.
Desi's last performance, and I want to go get some pie.
We're gonna need some pie. It's kind of a thing. They actually have this awesome concoction in an oven. It's not real pie. It's just meant to smell like pie. And they like pipe the smell of the pie into the theater, so like you're really feeling like you're right there in the diner. So.
But they also sell these cute little pie tins you can
Tiny
eat in your
little pie.
seat. So good.
So get here early when you're coming to the show so that you can actually get a chance to get one of those tiny little pies, because you'll want one. It's small.
Cute.
Anyway, we're gonna head into the show. This is a show that we love. If this one's one you're gonna want to go to. If you don't know anything about it, go anyway. If you know all the things about it, then you should have your tickets already.
Yeah.
So get to it. We're gonna head in.
Oh, thanks for the pie.
Absolutely, I got it for you.
And it's cute and small. Anyways, we just got back from Waitress. You know, I can't see that show enough times. I love this show.
What was your first?
I absolutely love the music. This music, like Sara Bareilles' score, the thing I love, you know, I was a little nervous when I heard she was writing musicals. She'd never done one before, and she's a pop singer. Like, who knew she could actually write a musical? And I love that she can write songs for all the different types of music that you need to progress a story in a musical, and she does it phenomenally.
Even down to the little song that plays before the show starts that tells you to turn your phone off. So it's a lot of fun.
Turn off your cell phone. I love it. I love it.
I think my first good in this show was definitely the mix of the props and the choreography. The choreography in this show is really awesome. It's unique. It's kind of got its style all its own, and I think one of the reasons why it does have a style all of its own because it mixes in the props. They're constantly moving things in and pulling things out and grabbing things, and you know, somebody turns and they grab a prop and you don't even notice it. It's just really smooth, and it's really well done and really well thought through. When we spoke with Christine earlier, she actually mentioned that Jenna in this show, the character Jenna, touches over 500 props in just this one show. It just seamlessly progresses the story, and I love that.
That's funny, you know, I have never really thought of it that way as choreography. You know, when I think of choreography to show, I think tap dancing or, you know, giant jazz dance numbers, but this is really like, it's the movements of the cooking. It's really neat.
Yep, definitely.
Right.
What was number 2?
My number 2, I really loved the Oakley in the touring cast. I think he was in the ensemble on Broadway when we've seen it. He had this whole other take of it, and he just seemed so innocent, which, you know, the character is, but I don't know what it was about him. I could not keep my eyes off him. He was hilarious. The way that he portrayed things, the way he said yes, like when he does his random poetry, I couldn't stop. He makes me laugh, and I really loved the way he sang too. Oakley is one of those characters. You know, every show seems to have one of those characters that just steals all the attention, and this character did that, but specifically this actor did that. So Jeremy Morse, who actually played Oakley on the tour, fantastic. You know, we were lucky enough to go up the elevator with him afterwards, and we were able to tell him how much we enjoyed his performance. But seriously, 2 thumbs up, but I'm holding a pie. 1 thumb.
1 thumb, 1 pie. That's good. I think my number 2 for sure was, this show is a show of moments, and one of my favorite moments of the entire show, there's this song that they sing that's called You Matter. And in the show, I mean, obviously, like, it has some contextual meaning and that kind of thing, but I just think the message to it is really great. And I think it's really neat to think about love in its basic form of mattering to somebody and knowing that what you have to say matters to them, and then having them matter to you as well. I just really love that song and that moment, and I really love the lyrics of this song and kind of how it weaves in over the, you know, message of the show. If you listen to the original cast recording, Drew from the original cast has this great high kind of like falsetto, like, I don't know what to call it, just this unique runs that he does in that song, and I just really enjoy the way that the voices weave together. I don't think that they're common, and I really like their uniqueness, and I really like the way that it sounds and the way that it feels.
Yeah. It goes back to how beautiful the music is.
Yeah, it definitely does. But I mean, this song is amazing as a standalone, but it really just completes this moment in the show and just makes the entire kind of last quarter of the show, and it's just a lot of fun. I love this song.
So, opportunity-wise, honestly, I could not find one thing that I didn't like about this show. Granted, I already said this is one of my favorite shows. The cast I thought was phenomenal. I know, I feel like it's a cop-out, but I say the opportunity is go see this show on tour. If you live in London now, you can go see it across the pond here pretty soon. Go see the show.
Yeah, I mean, there's not a lot for me to say when it comes to an opportunity in this show. I mean, there's obviously like some small things that you could talk about here and there, but for the most part, I think a show is successful when it pulls you in and it keeps you in, and you watch the entire thing without being pulled back out to reality. And this show does this time and time again. This is number 4 for us. This is the 4th time we've seen this show. And every single time I'm just submerged in the story, and I'm right there with the characters, just kind of eating out of their hand. And so I don't have a lot when it comes to an opportunity with this show. I'm going to go with Lee and say, get out and see it, even if you have to go all the way to London to do it.
You know, there's just something, especially when you're a mom and you're hearing these songs about how a child changes your life, and you're just bawling. There's just so many moments, like Bobby talked about, that really get to your heart, and it's got such heart to this story.
Definitely. I think that we all kind of get secluded in our world and kind of what we're going through, and we think that there's not, you know, anyone who can understand or relate to us sometimes. And I really think that this show proves that even in the most insignificant, you know, detail or stories, that people relate to it and they feel what you're feeling, and they think, you know, the same things that you do, and they struggle with challenges and things like that. So this is another show that I think just unites people and just kind of helps people remember that key fact to just pause and think through what just happened to you and then keep on going.
Well, so yeah, this show, it's still on Broadway.
Yep.
It's on tour across the country. It's gonna open up in London soon. Get a chance to go see this show if you can.
Definitely.
Couldn't recommend it more, honestly.
We had a lot of fun making this video. We got to do some of the things in this video that we haven't got to do in others, and hope to get to do more like that. If you like this video, go ahead and drop us a like. Let us know what you liked and let us know what you didn't. And don't forget to subscribe.